Footprinting is one of the most important stages in the process of employing security mechanism in an information system in order to address performance related issues and other loopholes that may arise in the course of operation of the system. In concise, it is the process of identifying various facets of the problem or issue at hand and documenting all the relevant information. Information gathering is applied to the wide variety of targets, social, and technological elements included. The objective is to create a definite outline of the steps that have to be undertaken to increase the chances of success for the remaining stages in the process. Now, the footprinting stage, although appears to be simple, is filled with intricacies, which, if not dealt with, affects the efficiency and accuracy of the process to a significant extent. The major classification of the process is of two types, active and passive. The classification is primarily based on the mode of interaction between the information gathering agent and the target in question. The element of risk is also a factor which should be taken into account in this stage. The degree of thoroughness of this stage should be really high as all test plans and cases are dependent on how well and comprehensive the reconnaissance team or the recon team has researched the problem. Passive recon, as the name suggests, deals with the development of an information profile about the target, with the recon agent rarely interacting directly with the target. This leads to a decrease in the element of risk involved, but it also affects the comprehensiveness and accuracy of the overall report. The technique mostly used are who-is search, collecting IP addresses, DNS records, collecting company related information via blogs, forums, etc. Active footprinting offers a more direct approach to information gathering, wherein it actively tries to gather information about a target through various direct means, thereby increasing the chances of detection. Even the slightest mistake leads to arousal of suspicion on the target's part. Hence, the emphasis should be contrary. Such means of data retrieval include on-site survey and mostly exploiting the social facet of the target to collect as much information as possible. In spite of greater chances of the risk involved, the accuracy of the collected information is more compared to passive footprinting. The main purpose behind the recon process is to gather information to formulate a definite outline of the process that has to be undertaken in order to address the issue at hand. Besides assisting security professionals to understand various scenarios present in an assessment, it gives an insight into security problems, which creates a baseline for proper incident management. For attackers, it is indeed the first stage on which the attack plan is dependent. The process of information gathering involves numerous steps and includes several offline and online sources for collecting sufficient data. Some common techniques for recon through online sources include whois and domain registry, doing a people search, finding out corporate information via various websites and search engines, location tracking through various social networking websites, and so on. Collecting information about web domains is one of the major sources by which proper information profiles about the target can be constructed. When a domain name is purchased, the owner has to submit some details which are stored with the domain registrar. Domain registrar is an authority which oversees domains. It is a very popular form of information gathering. Hence, domain registrars provide options for data privacy. Popular search engines include who.is, whois.net, and domaintools.com. Apart from such search apps, domain registrars provide their own search tools to find out information about domains registered by them. Moving on, people search forgoes organizational information and instead concentrates on individuals. People searches are an important part of recon on individuals, and a wide range of companies offer such services over the internet. There are some prerequisites when it comes to availing such services and several ranges of prices involved. Also, such services are kept on the down low as they are more vulnerable to misuse. Finding out information through this technique is more popular in the USA as the records are managed and kept online. Some of the common web services include people.com as in pipl.com and spoke.com. Collecting organizational information is also an essential aspect of the overall recon stage, and such information is accessible all over the internet, forums, and blogs. These turn out to be a great source of information these days, and with information breaches occurring on a regular basis, it is not hard at all to gather substantial confidential information. Social engineering also helps a lot to glean information from sources associated with the organization in question. With promotion and marketing of an organization comes the risk of increasing sources of recon. With the pervasiveness of social media, aggregation of information is not that difficult a task. Newspapers, letters, and press releases also help provide information about an organization. Automated tools such as Maltigo crawl through preset database servers give related information about a company or organization which comes in handy during time constraints. Refining a target's location, although sounding a little fancy, is straightforward but not without limitations. It is mostly used by law enforcement agencies to track down cybercriminals. The tracing is dependent on the situation in question, such as tracing an email, and rifling through the header information helps track the servers through which an email had passed, and in majority of the cases, the origin too. Now, with social networking sites including locations in users' updates, it can come as a handy tool for location tracing by aggregating inputs over a period of time. Now, social networks have pervaded our lives to a surprising extent. Social networks hold probably the largest wealth of information when it comes to entities interacting in the social world, such as individuals, organizations, etc. Thus, it is a favorite among cybercriminals and a significant liability for security professionals. Using social sites, information profiles about the target are built and plans are made to incorporate those in later steps. Apart from social networks, professional networks also offer valuable information about individuals which can be added to the information profile. Moving into some more detail, we shall see about a certain DNS record type named MX entry. MX stands for mail exchanger. A DNS record type which provides information about the mail exchangers of a particular domain name. Such information can be extracted using NSLOOKUP or other DNS diggers. This is a very useful method to collect information about mail exchangers or servers handling emails and in an organization's network. It is an indispensable source of information for testers and attackers alike, as it gives them an idea about the network topology, transmissions, and exchange points of emails on the network. For Windows-based systems, typing NSLOOKUP in the command utility accesses the relevant panel. Apart from MX entries, several other record types can be fetched using this tool. Going on to traceroute, as the name suggests, it provides information about intermediary devices between two nodes in a network. Apart from being a network diagnostic tool, it also helps in collecting information about the route followed by the data packets from one point to another. It is accessed using tracert command in Windows-based systems and trace or traceroute in Linux-based devices. Aside from the route, it also gives a rough estimation of how the network is performing from the displayed reply timings. For penetration testing and security-based information gathering, it reveals the closest devices to the target, which can then be enumerated and tested. This process can be employed visually using several tools such as NeoTrace Pro and through online websites such as whatismyipaddress.com and yougetsignal.com. Besides deploying various tools and sifting through social networks, viewing older archived pages is a good source of information during recon stages. To put it in a formal manner, it is defined as a method of finding out information from viewing old versions of web pages associated with the targets. It involves browsing of snapshots taken over a period of time to find out information that has been replaced in that period. A web application named archive.org provides a list of snapshots for numerous domain names by virtue of which a lots of information such as removed contact data can be procured. Typing the required domain name and specifying time would showcase snapshots of the website at that instant. Using this technique, organization related information can be gathered and put in the relevant information profile document. Apart from the aforementioned sources of recon, website crawls and mirrors are a very handy source of information and offers deeper understanding of the web application and its data. Crawling refers to the process of browsing through a web page to find out outgoing links. Mirroring of a website is defined as the process of downloading all the pages of a website in order to traverse and analyze it. Both these processes together are done to make information gathering of the website much more convenient. Once the website is downloaded, it is possible to see all the constituent elements going into information gathering to much more depth. Browsing through the website could reveal a lot of data such as employee names, email addresses, phone numbers, etc. Banner grabbing refers to the process of finding out server details using a measured request and response scheme, specially formulated to collect relevant information. In banner grabbing, the attacker tries to enumerate various services of a system and through the server responses gleans out important data which can be utilized for test plans. In the response example shown here, some of the server details that are extracted are the OS type, the version of the Apache service, the server date, and last modification date values. Coming to the most important part, prevention of data breaches due to such processes is what we are concerned with here. Some of the basic prevention techniques include regulating information disclosure in web applications through checking of presented content as well as response headers. For organizations, it would include a stringent and strict information security policy which is duly enforced and followed to the letter. For individuals, it would require awareness about social engineering techniques and following strict cautionary measures to prevent information disclosure. Prevention measures based on technical aspects are implemented using network and endpoint devices, and for individuals, policies should be implemented from an individual as well as an organizational standpoint. This is all for this chapter. Right next to this is the practical demonstration on footprinting. Stay tuned.
In this video, I shall demonstrate a series of commands and various other methods by which we can find out information about a particular target, which is known as information gathering or footprinting, or in other words, reconnaissance. So first of all, we have to open up command terminal as such. The first command that we shall see is the ping command. So in here, what we have to do is type the command as such, where we type in ping and we type in the domain name or the server address of a particular web server and then press enter. So here we can see that we can find out the IP address of the server along with a series of responses which gives us the information that this web server is currently active. The next command in line would be trace route, which helps us to determine the route that the data follows by traversing from our system to a particular web server. So the command format is kind of similar to that of the ping command, with the exception that instead of ping we had to type in trace RT and then space and the destination server address of the server name. Then we press enter. So here it is showing the route which the particular web server packets are following in order to reach the web server from our system. This is going to take some time due to the long route which is being followed and the network congestion which might take place in between. You can see that this particular command is showing the result as a series of IP addresses along with the time frame, which demonstrates how much time is taken by the packets to reach that server. The next command that we should consider here would be nslookup. Just type in nslookup in the command terminal as such and press enter. So it will show you this particular terminal over here. So now, if you want to find out the IP address of any domain name, just type in this particular query. Type in the domain name. Let's say suppose I want to find out the IP address of this particular domain name. So here we can see that the IP address is being shown over here. Next command that we can consider here is the netstat. Netstat shows you the active connections for your own systems. Here we can see that it is demonstrating a local address and a foreign address and the corresponding protocol which is being used for this particular port number. Netstat has another variant such as so let's say suppose I open up a browser session and I type in google.com and type in this command over here. So here we can see that it is giving a series of established connections over here along with the IP address of the remote servers to which we have connected. Apart from that, you can find out the information about a particular domain name using this website. It's known as who.this or who is search. Type in the domain name for particular domain, such as numbers.in. Here we can see that it is showing some information about this website, such as the IP address and the server type. Here is the information which we got about this particular web server, such as the domain name and the registrant organization name and the address and the phone number also and some emails. If you want to find out information about a particular person, so the best way to look for that kind of information is to go through various social networking and professional networking websites such as LinkedIn and Facebook.com or MySpace.com. So let's say suppose that I have a name and I'm trying to search for that name. Here we can see that without logging in or registering onto the website, we can find out a lot of information about particular people over here. Apart from that, I'm trying to use this service also. It's known as poku.com, which gives you the same kind of result, but for the fact that this is a paid service, and if you subscribe onto the service, you'll have to pay a certain amount so that it will give you the same address. and the email and the phone and the username and various other details about the person you're searching for.
Let's start with a demonstration of a tool Wikito. Go to the start, type Wikito. This is the interface of a Wikito. Okay, let's check. We have a tab Spider, Googler, Backend, Wikito, Google Hack, System Config, and Scan Wizard. So how to work on that Wikito tool? Let's check. On the Spider, we have to get the target name innovus.in, www.innovus.in. Okay, now we have to specify the port number and then start scan. Now the Wikito will start scanning. You can see the result in the external link. Okay, it will scan the directory mind, whatever the directory and the links and the external links are present in of the Innovus side. We will get the result here. It will be help in information gathering. It will be quite helpful to us whenever we gather the information about the domain. Let's see and wait for the result. Right now the spidering will target. You can see on the right hand side you will get the result, and if you drop down the list, let's check how much result we will got. This information can be very helpful to us in the future when we going to access or when we scan the vulnerability. So you can see now the spider will not working. So these are the results we will get from the spider of the Wikito. Okay, let's clear it. Now go to the second tab, which is called Googler. Okay, in the Googler we have to specify the target, the site name, which is www.innovus.in, and we have to specify the keyword. Click here. Okay, and then start. Right now I try to connect to the server, but right now you can see on the desktop it will search the doc. If you see on the left hand side, you will find innovus.in file type, and it will try to search a lot of docs so that it will be able to get the result from the website. It will search for the various file type of HTML, HTML, ASP, Perl. Okay, so by using this Googler, we'll get a lot of informations. HTML file, ASP, whatever the file present in the website of the domain innovus.in, or whatever the content it has, we'll get a lot of information from here, which quite be helpful for us. Okay, let's stop it. Now check the backend. In the backend, we will get a lot of information. We will try to search a lot of directories from the site. Let's put the target. Target is Innovus, www.innovus.in, and the port number is 80. Now start on the scan. Start scan. Now you can see here we will get the directory name if it is present in the domain. You can see the scanning is working. Scan is working. Directory in progress, and the data will be listed in the left hand panel, discover directories. So we have to wait for the result until we get something. So the thing is that in a single Wikito tool, we have a lot of information. We can say in a single tool, by using this Wikito, we can find a lot of information about the domain target, and which can be helpful to us. Let's see, we will get the log bin. You can check, we will get a lot of result. We will get the directory name, log bin, forum, images. Okay. So this Victor will take a lot of time to discover all the directories and whatever the file contain in this directory. So this will be help us to find out the architecture of the website or whatever the content or the subfolders are present in that website. We can use this information for further steps whatever needed, because we don't know what type of information required during the type of exploitation or whenever we do the penetration testing of a website. That's why we are using this kind of crawling and try to find out the information. So whenever you to start working, just search on the website whatever the domain you are working and try to find out. Let's check the other tab, which is Victor. In the Victor, you have to specify the target, which is www.innobus.in. The port number is 80, and you have to load the Nicto database. Click yes. Okay, database loaded. Now click on the start. You can see the Nicto database description. They are trying to match it and try to find out the information about the domain. And whatever the information you will find, it should be listed in the Nicto result. This tool will take a lot of time to give you the information, so you have to be the patience. You have to be the patience so that it will take so that you will get the good result. If you check, it will try to match one by one whatever the dot present in this Nicto database and try to catch or to find out the result, or if possible, if it contain. So you can see the Victor will try to find out the result. It's normally a type of dictionary. They are trying to match it and to find out the best possible result if the domain it contains. Now we have one more tool, is the Google hack. Okay, let's stop it. Now check the other tools. The other tab is the Google hack. Let's check the Google hack. Click here. Now you have to give the target www.innobus.in and load Google hack database. And then click open and the database is loaded. Now start scanning. You can see one by one it start to search the doc and to try to find out the result. And whatever the result you will get, it will be, you can export it to the other format of the files. You can make a report of that. One by one it will try to search the doc. So it will take a lot of time to give you the result, but this result will be helpful. Let's stop it. Let's check. Other is the configuration file and the scan wizard. If you are not able to give the direct name, so you can specify one thing. You can use this wizard. So click on the next. You can specify the IP host or the machine name. And the next, you can give the configuration file path, the proxy server to access this host. You can give the confirmation setting. And next is the overview. If you doesn't want to use this, you can directly work on the spiders, directly give the target name and that. So this is the demonstration of the wiki tool. Let's start with the demonstration of UGET signal. We can find out a lot of information about the target by using this online service. Let's start. We can also find out the port forwarding test. We can find out what is my IP address, the location and visual trace route, and the reverse IP domain check. Let us do one by one. Okay. First of all, I want to find the IP address. This will find out my IP address. Let's check. See, this is my IP address. Now I want to check the reverse IP domain. I have put enobus.in. and check. It will take some time. Let's see. enobus.in. The IP address is 66.232.121.90. We found the 6 domain hosted on the same web server as enobus.in. So we can find out that these are the website hosted on the same web server. So by using this reverse IP domain check, we can find out how many websites are hosted on the same web server. Now check another things. We can also locate the network location by using the network location tool. Let's see. On geographically, we can find out the location. See, it is on Delhi. These on the right hand side, we can find out all of the trace route information, our information, network information, my IP address, service provider, country, region, latitude, longitude. So we can find out a lot of information of the network location. Now I can also check the visual trace route. Let's check. Okay, just give the address here and host trace. So this is the information we will get by the visual trace route. You can check our ping is start from here 4. After that, it will trace to the location and end up to the channel number 8. You can check from the right hand side that host trace to enobus.in. These are the hops which is followed by the ping. By using this site, we can also find out who is. So we can also find out the information about the site. Let's check. I have clicked on the who is lookup. So I have to put the domain name enobus.in and check. Let's see, I have got a lot of information. I got the domain ID, domain name, okay, the created on which date and the last updated date, expiration date, and the client information, their address, their phone number, their email address, registrar email address. So we got a lot of information by the who is. So, and we also got the same network name server information. So by using who is, we will got a lot of information about the target site. So UGET signal is quite helpful when we get the information, when we want the information about the target. So this is the demonstration of UGET signal.